Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, here, come over here, Mark. Introduce ourselves. All right, so this is the information meeting for the SOA200 Voices of Freedom class. It's going to Johannesburg, Cape Town, South Africa in May. We're really excited about it. My name is Joe Corey. I am an art professor in the Department of Art, so I'm a fine artist in painting and drawing. I have visited 4 of the 7 continents, and this is my 3rd abroad class that I've taught at Stanford.
Yeah, I'm Mark Castle. I'm the chair of the Department of Theatre and Dance, and I teach acting and directing classes and I direct shows in our theatre season. I have not yet visited South Africa. This is my first time as part of this trip, but I have done, I think it's 15 study road trips now at this point, to London, England, to Edinburgh, Scotland, to Dublin, Ireland, and 4 years ago to Australia, to Sydney, Australia. So I've done a lot of study abroad trips. This was my first time to South Africa, which is really exciting.
And you met your wife on a study abroad.
I was as a student when I was studying with my wife through a study abroad program. So I'm very, very supportive of the idea of what study abroad can do for people and how it can expand their horizons and lead to new and unexpected things that I didn't even know were going to happen. So.
Yeah, that's exciting. Just some basic course information. So the course is tentatively scheduled for May 5th through 21st. Like I said, we're going to go to Johannesburg and Cape Town. One of the great things about this course is it's going to check that general education fine arts requirement box that most of you guys have. There are a couple prerequisites though. You do need to have your UCS 101 or 102 done, and then the core text, both 101 and 102 complete as well. Like the other SOA classes, trip to Australia this year and to Mexico City, it's very heavily focused on cultural immersion through art, architecture, music, and theater. So we're combining those 4 areas of the arts into one class. We're going to be experiencing those in the country. So it's very experiential. And so our goal is to really explore the meaning and importance of the arts as a form of resistance and reconciliation during and after apartheid. So that's what's unique about this specific South Africa course is being there in the history of that country. We're really going to dig into that and see how the arts played a really important role within that context. It's going to be a powerful course. It's going to be very emotional at times, but at times very, very fulfilling and rewarding. And you're going to come away from it changed. I visited South Africa in 2013 on a very similar, I was with faculty kind of seminar, and I have not been the same since. So I'm really excited to be able to take students to have the same experience. And so just in terms of activities and what the course is going to look like, we're going to have guest lectures. We'll have both formal and informal group discussions. A lot of time for personal reflection as you guys reflect on what you're experiencing. We're going to, like I said, we're going to visit a variety of different sites, attend concerts, performances, and other kind of experiential learning activities. Assignment-wise, everything will be online on Canvas or through kind of in-person discussion. We're not going to sit in a classroom. You're not just going to sit and hear lectures from us. Even when we do discussion, we're going to be in courtyards and coffee shops, out in the field, having conversation about, like I said, what you just experienced. All assignments will be related to the course activities, like I said, and completed through Canvas, and so that makes it really easy to do while you're over there. In terms of a sample daily schedule, as I said, we get up in the morning, at 8 or 9 o'clock, have a group reflection where we come together and talk about what we saw the day before and what's coming during that day. In terms of giving kind of a daily overview, sometimes we'll have a couple of guest lectures in the morning. Those tend to be about an hour to an hour and a half long, where we're learning from people who are living and working and experienced in South Africa. And then we're off and we're visiting museums, galleries, doing walking tours, all kinds of things. In the afternoon, it's kind of repeating that same thing, going to galleries. We're going to see multiple things in a day. And so you got to wear good walking shoes if you're going to be busy. The evenings, depending on what's scheduled, usually it's kind of a dinner just on your own. Sometimes we'll meet back up and go to concerts or performances, but there'll also be nights where we'll have free time as well for you to kind of decompress, relax, work on assignments, things like that. again, as I said, one of the big things that we're gonna do there is really try to focus on the history and culture of South Africa and explore the way the arts, the role that they played during apartheid. And so, as I mentioned, lots of guest lectures, walking tours, visits to museums, monuments. We're gonna visit several churches, townships. We're gonna visit Soweto Township, outside of Johannesburg. We're also gonna visit Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was in prison. And then we're gonna have some space for some fun activities as well. And so we're gonna visit a penguin colony and nature reserve. There's a beautiful botanic gardens outside of Cape Town that we're gonna spend a day at. And if you want, you can bring your sketchbooks along and draw and see all kinds of exotic plants and animals that you wouldn't normally see here. And then as well, kind of different cultural encounters. We're gonna experience South African cuisine together. And so beyond just the arts engagement and the historical engagement, we're also gonna be able to really immerse ourselves in culture and just see what that environment is like. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Specifically in regards to some of the art encounters, we are gonna tour Constitution Hill and the Constitutional Court Art Collection. As I said, art galleries, museums, attend concerts and performances at some of the historic theaters. We're gonna tour the historic Regina Mundi Church in Soweto, which is called the Church of the People. It's where the anti-apartheid activists would meet, and then there was an event in the 1970s. He's raided, and there's still bullet holes in the wall, and we're going to go and see those. And as I said, guest lectures with artists, musicians, other performers. It's going to be a real kind of all-around experience of engaging with different artists.
Yeah, I was going to chip in just because obviously apartheid is something that is history now, is something that was in the past. Because Corey and I are old enough that we were alive when apartheid was still in existence. I remember that transition and the things that happened in South Africa as a result of that. But this is not something that's in the past for South Africa. It is still part of an ongoing transition in that country's entire cultural apparatus. It is not that long ago, and many people who were still alive during that period and whose lives were tremendously affected by that and the laws and the systems that were in place. And so it's not purely a historical thing. This is what's happening right now and the ongoing change from a very different system to the way the country is right now. And it's things are transitioning even as we speak. So it's a really like you're really part of something that is ongoing and not just a historical thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of why we wanted to have those guest visitors share those stories. Experiences. One of the things that I've got some questions about is just health and safety in South Africa. Stanford is partnering with EDU Africa to really ensure best practices are followed for health and safety. And so there'll be a health and safety orientation meeting that you guys will all have to attend, where we're going to learn about some of those specific issues. One of the things that we've done that's a little different from some trips, like if you go to London or Sydney, where the students kind of deal with the transportation in those cities on their own in regards to public transportation, you would tend to just eat at events. What we're going to do is we're going to travel all together on a bus. And that's just, again, going to make sure that we're together as a big group, that nobody ends up wandering off in an area that might be unsafe. The lodging that has been secured for us is in a low crime neighborhood. It's secure lodging. People from the outside aren't just able to kind of walk in and out of that complex. And so I'm really excited about the fact that we can partner with EDU Africa, because I think that's going to really help ease some of that anxiety around safety. One of the things we're going to be really intentional about is scheduling time throughout the itinerary for reflection and to help decompress from activities. Mark's going to be really helpful in this. This is something that actors do all the time. When you're engaging in really tense or emotional experiences in some of these museums, where you're going to see things that are just really disturbing in some cases, it's important that you have space to kind of decompress and reflect. So that's something that we've also put into the schedule as well for you all, just to take care of not only your physical health, but also the mental health. Is there anything you want to say about that?
No, I mean, yes, other than we'll do exercises that help us like reflect on things, but also help us recognize our separation from the thing that we see. Like, this is not happening to us, but it's happened to people in the past, and we empathize and sympathize with that. But we have to find like how that connects to us in a healthy way. And so we kind of allow ourselves to dwell in those things that we need to reflect on. So there's exercises that we can do that help us do that and help us safe and to keep our mental health in the right place, as well as our physical health and security. So.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, so we're going to be really intentional and put a lot of thought into the health and safety while you guys are over there. So that's something that you guys don't need to worry about. In terms of travel information, it's a 15-hour flight. It's a very long flight. You're going to want to wear compression socks. It is a 7-hour time difference as well, 7 hours ahead. But we will have, like I said, we'll have points of space throughout the trip. You'll be able to contact and be in touch with family members, loved ones that are back here, and be able to talk to them. We will travel together, as I said, on a chartered bus throughout both Johannesburg and Cape Town, and then we will fly together from Johannesburg to Cape Town. The weather in South Africa, it's in the southern hemisphere, and so it's going to be autumn. So think of our fall. It should be really beautiful. Sunny, temperatures ranging in 50 to 70 degrees with very little rain. So sunny and mild. You'll probably want to bring a jacket or a fleece, just because in the evening it can tend to get cool. But during the day, t-shirts, just long sleeve shirts, pants or shorts is probably fine as well. In terms of cost and just the breakdown of that, I'm not going to go into a lot of details. You can talk to folks in global engagement if you have more questions about that. But the billable amounts, the tuition, the program fees, the other fees, it's about $4,500. And then the non-billable amounts, and that includes airfare, meals, is estimated at around $3,000. So your kind of total estimated costs, and a lot of this is going to depend on the cost of the flight, is going to be about $7,500. So with the SOA and the 200 and the SOA 210 class, we've tried to stack and have different price point levels for those of you who aren't able to afford a big costly trip. There are other trips as well, Mexico City, for example, that's a little bit more affordable. And so we're kind of in the middle of that. And as I said, this includes flight, this includes tuition, your program fees. This is an estimate for, like I said, meals, getting your passport, all of that stuff. One of the things that is to our benefit that we're really excited about is the exchange rate is really positive from the dollar to the rand. And so you can buy a lot more there with your money than you can in other countries like London, or excuse me, other cities like London or Sydney, where the exchange rate is a little bit closer or maybe not as favorable. That's all I have. I don't know, Mark, if there's anything you want to throw in.
I think just one of the things is that this is a very experiential class. All the SOA classes are, but the opportunity to take a class in NATO is that you get to go be in the place that you're talking about. And there's something incredibly powerful about standing beside a painting to talk about it and actually being in the room where it is, or being in a theatre performance with a group of other people and then talking about it afterwards. It's very different than taking this same class in the classroom. We love this class in the classroom, but we especially love the ability to take people on our trips to see the thing in real life, as it were, and just I know that that's been a transformative experience for many students over the years who come back from this and talk about it for years and even decades afterwards. It's like one of the most memorable things they did while they were at something. So it's a very powerful and life-changing experience.
Absolutely. If you have any questions, please reach out. My email and Mark's email is on the screen right here, or to the folks in the Global Engagement Office. And I hope that you'll join us in May. Thanks, guys.